We are done with our discussion in simple interest. This time, we will proceed to compound interest. Now, you may wonder what's the difference between simple interest and compound interest. If you're a borrower who doesn't want to get stuck with expensive debt that takes years to eliminate, you'll probably want a loan with interest that doesn't compound. Kung mangutang ka, nga di ka gusto nga mudako ang imong utang, mas nindot ko mo apply kag loan with simple interest. But if you're an investor looking to earn lots of money that you can use in retirement, it's best to search for an account with interest that compounds frequently. So if you want to save more, if you want to invest, if you want to earn lots of money, it would be better to look for an account with interest that compounds. Why? It's because compound interest is greater than simple interest. Under simple interest system, the interest is computed only on principal amount, whereas under compound interest system, the interest is computed on principal as well as on accumulated interest. So, in other words, sa compound interest, ang imong principal nga kwarta manganak. Yang katong anak, manganak pagyud until such time nga mas mudako ang kwarta tungod kay magsiyo og panganak. So, kung mangutang ka, dako yun kay kag mabayaran, di ba? But if gusto kang mag-save, then dako pud kay kag ma-save or ma-earn if mo invest ka under the compound interest system. Very common in our locality is sosyo. I know you are all familiar with sosyo, di ba? Mag-put up ang mga tao o kwarta para gamiton para pista. And then, ilan ang painteresan ang kwarta kung kinsa man ang gusto nga mangutang or mobaylo until nga modako ang kwarta gamiton para pista. Palit og unsay paliton. You may try to ask sa nagdala sa kwarta if unsa may gigamit nila, compound interest ba or simple interest. Maturity value and compound interest. The formula in finding the future value in compound interest is this: F equals P times quantity 1 plus R raised to an exponent of T, where F is a maturity or future value at the end of the term, P is a principal or present value, R is the interest rate, and T is a time or term in years. In simple interest, rate is multiplied with the term or time. But for compound interest, the term is raised as an exponent. Please do not interchange because it will yield different result. Maturity value for compound interest is bigger than that of the maturity value for simple interest. To find the compound interest, just subtract the principal from the future value. I sub C here is our compound interest. F is the maturity or future value at the end of the term, and the P or the principal is the present value. Let's have an example. Find the maturity value and the compound interest if 10,000 pesos is compounded annually at an interest rate of 2% in 5 years. So in this problem, we are to look for the maturity value and the compound interest. But before we get the compound interest, we have to find first the maturity value. So let us write the given data. We have the principal, which is 10,000 pesos. The rate is 2% or 0.02, and time or term is 5 years. Using our formula, we have this. Then substituting the given values to our formula, we have this line. Next step is to add first 1 and 0.02 before raising it to an exponent of 5. So 1.02 raised to an exponent of 5 is 1.04080803. You may check this using your calculator in your phones, or if you have scientific calculators with you, it would be better. And then multiply it to 10,000. We have 11,040 pesos and 81 centavos. This is the maturity value. Since we are done with the maturity value, we will now solve for the compound interest. So to solve for the compound interest, just subtract the future value that we have computed earlier and the principal. 11,040.81 minus 10,000. The compound interest is therefore 1,040 pesos and 81 centavos. That's how to find the maturity value and compound interest. Let's have another example. Suppose your father deposited in your bank account 10,000 pesos at an annual interest rate of 0.5% compounded yearly when you graduate from kindergarten and did not get the amount until you finish grade 12. How much will you have in your bank account after 12 years? The question is asking for the maturity value. And since this is compounded yearly, we will use the formula in finding the future value for compound interest. Identifying the given data, we have the principal, 10,000 pesos. The rate is 0.5%, or that is equivalent to 0.005. Term is 12 years. Substituting it to the formula we have, and then 1 plus 0.005 is 1.005 raised to an exponent of 12. That is equivalent to 1.061677812. Then multiplying this to 10,000 pesos, the future value is 10,616 pesos and 78 centavos. So after 12 years, you will have this amount in your bank account. The present value at compound interest. The present value or principal of the maturity value F due in T years, any rate R, can be obtained from the maturity value formula. We all know that this is the formula in finding the future value for compound interest. To solve for the present value, we will just have to explore or manipulate this formula, and this is how it is done. By symmetric property, we can interchange these two expressions, and then we divide both sides of the equation by quantity 1 plus r raised to an exponent of t, and then we cancel this expression here so that we can isolate p. Therefore, p equals f over quantity 1 plus r raised to an exponent of t, or using the laws of exponent, particularly negative exponents, p is equal to f times 1 plus r raised to an exponent of negative t. We can use either of these formulas since it will yield the same result. By the way, take note that in simple interest, we can also find its present value, and it has different formula with that of compound interest. So be mindful when to use these formulas. So we have here the formula for the present value P at compound interest. Let's have an example. What is the present value of 50,000 pesos due in 7 years if money is worth 10% compounded annually? For our given data, we have 50,000. Here, 50,000. The rate is 10% or 0.10, and T is 7 years. For the solution, just substitute these values to our formula. So we have 50,000 over 1 plus 0.10 raised to an exponent of 7. Now, 1.010 raised to an exponent of 7 is 1.9487171. Then dividing 50,000 by 1.9487171, the answer is 25,657.91. So this is the present value. This is the principal amount. Another example, we have Mr. Bautista aims to have his investment grow to 500,000 pesos in 4 years. How much should he invest in an account that pays 5% compounded annually? So for the given data, we have the future value, which is 500,000 pesos. The rate is 5% or 0.05 and the term is 4 years. Substituting it again to our formula, we have this line. And then, solving this in our calculator, it yields to 1.21550,625. Meaning dividing these two numbers, the answer is 411,351.24. Therefore, Mr. Bautista must invest 411,352 pesos and 24 centavos in order to attain his target amount of 500,000 pesos. My dear students, make sure that you will be able to identify the given data accurately since it matters in the computation. Next lesson, I will share to you about compounding more than once a year. What if money is compounded not annually but semi-annual, quarterly, or monthly? Good luck and have a great day!